there's no Raylos, no nobody, no any of that. Today I've got a couple of things I want to talk to you guys about live. Um, it is a article from Comic Book Resources, which is normally not a a thing I like to use because they're shells. But a guy named Dave Heath a couple of days ago posted the Star Wars 10 things that annoyed even dedicated fans. Okay, let's get into this. So I'm going to show it to you. This is going to be the shorter part because, well, the other part's hysterically funny. Hey, Mad Piranha, how you doing? Okay, so this is it. Okay. Dude, all right. Oh, stop it, computer. So we go on here. All right. 10. New canon inconsistent. Even though one of its selling points was supposed to be consistency. Well, yeah, it would be nice to have things make sense. We were promised that from His Majesty the Pablo, but the new canon makes less sense than my dog riding a bicycle. Let's go further. Let's go into this. When Lucasfilm announced the dissolution of the expanded universe, they made a bold proclamation that everything that came next is going to be canon. Regardless of the source, movies would count as much as comics, all the novels would be canon, even video games would add to the story. Lucasfilm's Sports Story Group is supposed to be incorporating it all seamlessly. This worked out at first. As time went by, the story group didn't keep a good eye on things as advertised, and it seemed like the old days again. Levels of canon where the movies could supersede or ignore things from other media. This annoys fans. Oh, look. Okay, we gotta get into this. All right. I'm gonna read this. You guys just hang out. Because this... But you gotta see this again just for kicks and giggles. Yay! Yay! This is so... Oh, God, I'm gonna vomit. Okay, number 9. Toxic sections of the fandom, which... Trailer. Hey, Pocket. Which, I guess we're in a minority because we think it all sucks, but apparently, to Comic Book Resources, we're not in the minority, even though their side doesn't buy shit and don't go to the movies. Anyway, let's get into this. Star Wars and most media have been having a fandom problem lately. You mean, you guys out there in the shells defend it. They make shit, we complain about it, we get called all kinds of names, and toxic. Okay, that's what this is about. Pocket. The reactions to the sequel trilogy were strong, to say the least, with vocal minorities of both haters and defenders getting rather toxic and souring the experience for the entire fandom. Legendary flame wars on platforms like Reddit have taken place, with both sides getting bad. All right, here's the deal. Okay. I don't like this movie. It sucks, A, B, and C. You're a bigot and a homophobe and a racist. Because I didn't like who's being obnoxious. Who's going, hey, I just didn't like the movie. Because it doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't make any sense in universe. That makes me a bigot, a homophobe, and a sexist, and a racist? How? Okay, let's go further. While a minority of sequel haters have been motivated by racism and sexism, like who? Who? The defenders have been no less as bad, especially the Raylos. This makes me happy. Motivated by their love of Kyle Ron, one of the sequel's best written characters. Yeah, he couldn't really carry Jason Solo's jockstrap, but that's for another conversation. And Ray's relationship, they tried to make the ship happen in real life, sending death threats to Adam Driver's wife, attacking John Boyega, and genuinely being terribly racist and sexist in a different way from the haters. The only racists that I've ever run into have been Raylos. Okay, just so everybody knows. All right, let's go here. Do. All right, ending any hope of seeing Luke's Jedi Order until John Favreau gets into it. I'm not going to read that part. Come on, keep going. Come on. The treatment of Luke Skywalker. All right, I'm going to add this. The treatment of Luke Skywalker and Han Solo. Because you can't have Luke without Han, you can't have Han without Luke. But we'll go into Luke because whatever. For generations of Americans, Luke Skywalker is one of the greatest heroes created. He was one of children's first heroes, teaching them about good and evil. His adventures taught people what Jedi were before the prequel trilogy, and fans were excited to see him again. Then the sequels happened. Presenting Luke as a broken down old man who ran away from everything, the character was fundamentally different from his prior presentation. While his life ended on a heroic note. Yeah, they did. Bobby, they did. His life ended on a heroic note. Did anybody else see TLJ? He was sitting on a rock, imagining he saw the Tatooine twin suns as he was force projecting himself across the galaxy. That is not heroic. He did not just show up physically there in the moment. What the fuck? Here's the deal. This guy, David Heath, is trying to defend the sequel trilogy while complaining about what they did to people. We're enthralled. Most fans weren't thrilled about how he was treated, least of all Mark Hamill. All right, let's go. All right, now we're done with Luke. Han Solo. Drunk deadbeat dad Han Solo. Need I say more? And then they wonder why we're pissed. And then they wonder why I accuse the Story Group and Lucasfilm itself of creating daddy hate porn. Let's go further. The treatment of Finn. We all know why this happened too, by the way. I talked about it yesterday, but we'll talk about it again. Finn was the most unique character in the sequel trilogy and one of the biggest squandered opportunities. Rey was basically Luke 2.0. Poe was Han Solo, but not a smuggler, even though he used to be. BB-8 was cuter than R2. No, BB-8 was fucking annoying. I'd have given BB-8 to my dog to play with. Finn, though, was completely new, an ex-stormtrooper joining the good guys. There's an untapped wealth of story there, but Lucasfilm basically gave it all up. No one is, hey nerd, hey guy. No one is sure why. John Boyega is a charismatic, talented actor, and fans loved Finn. But he was increasingly marginalized as the sequels went on. While many speculated this was a decision influenced by racism, it was a massive disappointment for many, including Boyega himself. We speculated it was racism? How's this? Alan Horn going, we really can't have a black stormtrooper fall in love with Rey because the Chinese hate black people. That's what it was. That's it in a nutshell. And J.J. Abrams, whose dick is the size of this pen cap, dared not argue. Hey, Sakori. So anyway, number 5. Oh, the gatekeeping. Okay, fuck this shit. I gatekeep, right? We all gatekeep. If you want to be part of Star Wars, I'll be inclusive. But the moment you start shitting on Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, or Leia, the moment you wrap your arms around ignorance and act like a millennial fucktard and start screaming the virtues of Rey, the bestest ever, I'll kick your ass to the curb because you're not a Star Wars fan. You're not. Okay. If you guys know new people who want to go and watch the movies, have them watch episodes 1 through 6. Read the EU, the Clone Wars. Rebels and then stop it right there. Thanks, Mad. And then, because I don't mind being a gatekeeper. You're all welcome as long as you don't purposely try to destroy what I loved about it, which is exactly what Lucasfilm and the ST lovers, including the Reylos mostly, wanted to do. I've had arguments. All right, I told you guys, that woman who runs a Star Wars discussion group. Now, just wait. We're going to talk about this, Corey. I'm not on that. The woman who runs the Star Wars discussion group, Olivia Wilson. It's called the Star Wars discussion group. It's on Facebook. She basically made up her own headcanon about what a horrible person Han Solo is. So I asked the bitch, have you ever read the EU? No. How long have you been a Star Wars fan? Well, ever since I married my husband. They've been married 5 years. Why don't you read the EU and then see if you still feel the same way? I don't have to. It's not canon. Well, guess what? The shit that you like can be taken out of canon too. And the other stuff can be reinstituted. Okay, I want to talk to her someday. She's a nasty feminazi bitch. But anyway, all right. All right, so people like us are getting blamed for driving people away from the fandom. The people who drove fans away from the fandom are Reylos, ST lovers, shills like Jason Ward, etc. Okay. The battle between prequel fans and sequel fans. Okay, one of the weirdest, this is funny shit. One of the weirdest parts of the modern Star Wars fandom is a real evaluation of the prequel trilogy. Long derided, fans have taken another look at it and decried that it is better than they thought. Many believe that this is because of the reactions to the sequels, and this has caused infighting between the two groups. Now, both sides attack one another online, with prequel fans saying the sequels aren't a part of George Lucas's vision, and as such, not real Star Wars. Well, they're not, so we haven't finished that. Oversaturation of the market. All those, Bobby. Let me finish what I'm doing. Fans harassing actors. They go through Ahmed Best, and we're blamed for Kelly or Marie Tran, even though there's no proof. Anybody but Jason Ward had anything to do with it. And we come to the crux of the problem. The decanonization of the expanded universe. I'm not going to rate it, but there you go. So let's go to Facebook. Hopefully I won't have to chime in here. I won't have to jump in. Come on. Good. Oh, be quiet. Done. Okay. Let's go and see where everybody is, all right? Before we get into this. Okay. No, we're not going into searching videos. Go here. All right. Okay. All right, I want to show you guys this. So this is Star Wars on comicbooks.com. All right. There's my comment. There's Juan Gabriel Santos' comment, which got laughed at. There's Stephen Neforos' comment. Dave Falconer, holy shit. Okay, then we got this dumb bitch. But, I mean, most of the comments are just, and we wonder why. Darwin, we wonder why it's failing. Well, there you go. I mean, look at the way people are talking about it. Very, very few Very few people, I'm going to write no here. Very few people want to read this. The comments are pretty much like PU. But that's the state of Star Wars right now. And after last night's or after yesterday's Reddit thing, and the fact that, well, let's go look to see if Star Wars Twitter is back. Okay. Okay, Eastlyn. Thank you. Star Wars Twitter. They've tweeted anything out lately. Nope. Nope. Absolutely not. Sorry for the screen being so dirty. I am, so what does this all mean? I honestly think that something is happening. I mean, you can't go on to anything from Disney and avoid people hating on the High Republic and Kathleen Kennedy. You can't, even comic book resources, it cannot hide it. I mean, let's go back to comic book resources because there's actually a pretty good article there. Oh, I hate this when this happens. All right, let's go back. Because there's some other things that they were talking about. And it's really interesting. I mean, this guy named David Heath, all right, actually wrote a very 10 legend storylines that could have saved the sequel trilogy. So I haven't read this yet. We can all read this together. Well, it's all right. Kathleen Kennedy, there are plenty of source material to choose from. Stories from Star Wars Legends. Legends contain many X-Wing Rogue Squadron and the Wraith Squadron novels focused on the Alliance military and introduced a new villain. Okay, that one. So, since they ended up copying parts of the Dark Empire anyway, they should have just gone all that way. Yeah. Star Wars Legacy took place in the far future and saw the rise of a new Sith Empire. Well, come on, keep going. Jedi Academy trilogy had loads of potential. Yes, it did. God, those are good books. And Swarm War trilogy pit the heroes against an ancient alien threat. Okay. Luke, do you have a scar on your face? Weird. Fate of the Jedi saw the return of the Sith and a new Force horror. Okay. Luke Skywalker and the Shadows of Mindor saw Luke in his only military command. Okay. Legacy of the Force embroiled the war in a second civil war. Okay. The Thrawn trilogy. It is the trilogy. It is. And New Jedi Order introduced a completely new threat, the Yuuzhan Vong. Okay. Okay. This is the problem. When you've got, I mean, he even says it, and I'll read it to you. The guy, this Dave Heath even says it, okay, that Kennedy publicly denied, but I'll read it back to you because it's interesting. Publicly denied, the Academy trilogy when you got Dark Apprentice. If they do that, we're gonna, you guys just wait. We're gonna get Jaina and Jason, and we should have had that. I mean, I don't get this. Rogue Squadron was good too. Okay, let's go here. Legends contain many stories that could be recanonized, while there are also plenty of stories that the sequel trilogy made impossible. Elements of legends could have been used, made the whole thing better. No, you could just decanonize everything in the... Yo, Mazarius. Well, it has its fans. The Star Wars sequel trilogy was a huge disappointment to vast swaths of the fandom. There were many reasons for this: squandered characters, recycled storylines, disrespect to the original trilogy events and characters, and so on. Contrary to what LFL President Kathleen Kennedy said, there was plenty of source material to choose from. Let's talk about that. Everybody gather around the fire. I'm done doing reading right now. The shit's going down. All right, we just looked at their Twitter account. They still haven't tweeted in over a week. Now, Star Wars at comicbook.com is getting beaten over the head. Things are happening, and I think they're happening fast. I wait for Doomcock. Hopefully he'll drop it today, because tomorrow at this time, I'm going to be at a thing I have to go to. Hopefully Doomcock will say more. I really think there's stuff going down. I don't know if I expect it May 4th, but I expect it sooner than October. Because Star Wars, Disney can't afford it anymore. They can't. I mean, look at those comments. No, I don't think so. I think it's bigger than that. Even though I went and looked at the story group, the people you can follow that aren't hiding, like Pablo, and let's see, Matt Martin is Mything Word, the little fruit ball, little fruit pie. Matt Martin, Mything Word, Twitter. Let's see. When's the last time he tweeted. All right, he tweeted 14 hours ago. So he's really not. And he's retweeting shit like from Nerdist, oh God. I gotta see what this is. This is 19 hours ago. This is all, I mean, this is, Matt Martin is literally one of the biggest pussies on the planet. Now, he's one of the storyboard guys. You remember him? Skinny little shit. I want him fired. He is tweeting, he didn't tweet yesterday, or he tweeted a long time ago. One of the things that kind of concerned me, and just bear with me, was when whoever that OP was that dropped those leaks at Reddit mentioned that either Kennedy would leave or get promoted. I don't see how she could get promoted. I don't know where she would go. She's a movie. I mean, she really does want to make movies, as far as I can tell. All right, dirty joke about Matt Martin and Jason Ward. Do I need to get sick to my stomach? Ick. But no, he's still tweeting. I assume Pablo is, but hiding. I could go back. Maybe I will go back and we'll see if, why don't we do that? Let's do that. Let's go see. Sorry for that. Let's say something. One of the indications that you can, if the account is hidden, and Pablo's hiding behind Twitter, one of the indications I like to go to is his wife, because she's on Twitter. And if she's not hiding, and I haven't been on Twitter in a while now, but if she's not hiding, maybe we can get a hint of what the crazy Miss Hidalgo, Mrs. Pablo Hidalgo, she's so proud, is doing. So let's go for it. Safari. Do 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 do. All right. Man, Ray, Sky, Twitter. I remember this gay rights person, when I don't have anything against that, but attacking me. All right, Kay Hidalgo. So this was from March 19th. This is, yes, she's still tweeting, but, and talking about Lucasfilm. But I can't see anything she's talking about. That she's talking about, anything, thank you, Matt. She's not talking about anything going on. I think that she knows that she's being spied on. So she's talking to E.K. Johnson. Oh, who's Amy Geek? Let's find out. Amy Ratcliffe and E.K. Johnson. Gatekeepers. Oh my God. This is hilarious. Okay, so this psychotic bitch, I've had run-ins with her. She hates Luke, she hates Han. All right, let's go to the other one. All right, E.K. Johnston. All right. This one's insane. I mean, she's really kind of gross too. But yeah, your typical SJW female. They're pretending like there's nothing going on, or they don't really know it. There's nothing on Hidalgo, on the wife's page that indicates she knows anything, or is going to talk about it. And of course, Johnston and Matt Martin and Amy Ratcliffe, who's, don't leave me in the same room with them. It'll go bad for them. They're not going to say anything, even if they knew. But what you do, in my opinion, is when you want to find out what's going on, get the feel, you go to people like that aren't involved with the hear things. Matt Martin's not talking. Kristen Hidalgo's not talking. The two bitches that she was talking to aren't talking. You're not going to get anything from them. They're terrified. All right? They're terrified. These are the people that were retweeting, rewriting Ripley. Okay? All right? And it blew up in their faces. Okay? It went, how, Bugs Bunny would stick a carrot in Yosemite Sam's gun and he'd shoot it and that's it. That's what happened. But that article about the EU, the other thing where, that's all indicative. Then we have that kind of fluffy sort of thing yesterday that came out, with the only really juicy part being you will be hearing leaks of big shakeups coming soon, maybe within a few days to a few months. So, but I gotta tell you, the only way that this really gets fixed is to get rid of all of those people, not just Kennedy. Getting rid of Kennedy. I think it will be an announcement that Kennedy's stepping down, that she wants to concentrate solely on Indiana Jones 5, which will mean that her husband is doing all the work, and Harrison Ford is like, stay away, stay away, stay away. It'll be something like that. Okay. Yellow Flash used that CBR article. I don't know. Has anybody seen the Yellow Flash? Oh, yeah. Yeah, they will. Has anybody seen the Yellow Flash YouTube? Because I haven't. I mean, I watched a little bit of it, and then it was like, no, I can't. Sorry. What did he mean about Vader fanatic? Can you kind of post what an old redneck? What can you guys tell me about what he was talking about? Because I didn't get to really watch it because I wanted to concentrate on the article. Because he was saying that they're getting that they're tired of Star Wars. I think they're in the process of removing the sequel trilogy. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And yeah, that's it, right? Thanks, Mazaris. You guys, when you have time, watch that. He said something about oh God, it was so good. Yeah, this is such a great show. Harrison Ford is the one that tells the story too. Oh God, it's so good. Yeah, Harrison himself shows up. It, to me, I mean, I don't. Well, all right, okay, that's what he's saying, that they're giving up. He's wrong. They're not. They can't. They can't. I mean, but you gotta understand, some YouTubers, especially big ones, bank on negativity, outrage. If it bleeds, it leads. You know, it's the same. You know, we might be informal media, but we're still media. What I think is they're going to go full steam ahead with what Favreau wants to do. And they're going to give up on what Kennedy wanted. And you got to understand is that there are a lot of people out there that are just negative. I mean, you know, it could be out there today. Big headlines. Disney to announce resignation of Kathleen Kennedy. And there are people out there, and I'm not going to name who, but you know who I'm talking about, who would try to find the worst possible outcome and then run with it. Who are they going to bring in after? It'd be just as woke. They might not bring anybody in. They might not need to. They already have two people who are doing the job she should have been doing all along. Okay? All right? Why? But the reason is they're just negative people. Okay? They want to be depressed. And I honestly think that the amount of time a lot of people spend online is indicative of how depressed they can get. I don't think Christopher Nolan's going to come to Disney. I don't think you would have to have Disney be a completely different company. Allow artistic freedom. You remember, right? Christopher Nolan is a man's man. When he writes a male character, it's a masculine character. There's no beta male shit going down. We can't do the sequels anymore. They can't afford it. But to say that they're giving up is a typical reaction by somebody who doesn't know what's going on and who doesn't want to believe anything possibly good could ever happen. And that's fine. That's not how I look at things. I look at things as, where could this be going? Why did that person on Reddit put that on there? And it comes out around the same time that, we are all noticing that Star Wars has gone radio silent. Well, it's not that. It's, you'd have to let him run the studio, run it the way it should be run. It'd be really great to see Rick McCallum come back. Rick McCallum, his name is all over the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. The guy really put his time in. And I would say if he ran Lucasfilm, we would probably have George's sequel trilogy in a way that the fans would like it. It probably wouldn't be exactly what George wanted, but it also wouldn't be anti-George, which is what the sequel trilogy is right now. It's anti-George, it's anti-Joseph Campbell, it's anti-Star Wars. It isn't Star Wars. It's going to be interesting, but you got to look at the tidbits of information. Comic book resources, while it's a shill thing to have stuff that's up there that's negative about the sequel trilogy, is very interesting. Yeah, and they need someone who does publishing who wants to do a better job. They need to bring all these writers in and saying everything you've done is not canon. We're bringing stuff that was Legends back into canon. This is not canon anymore. Your stuff is going into Legends. And if there's any, whining like you're racist, it's like, no, I like good storytelling. And despite your protests, this is shit. Okay, this is garbage. You do the Miranda Priestley thing and go, why would I want to promote something that I couldn't sell anywhere? That Ollie's can't even move. That could be found in the tragic bin in a Ollie's discount store or a dollar store. Why? Why would I keep doing that? Well, here's the deal. I don't really think, and a lot of people disagree with me, but I think if Jon Favreau was told, we want you to come in, we'll give you carte blanche to hire and fire anybody you want, in the publishing thing, and to get everything set up. Okay, whatever you need. We don't care who you fire. We don't care who you hire, as long as they know what they're doing and they're Star Wars fans. We're not doing this. Del Rey says they have 2 or 3 authors that could use the work. We could use them. That's what they did. Anybody think Justina Ireland loves Star Wars? No, she fucking hates it. She wrote the book she wrote for resume filler while she gets her PhD at York State or wherever the university in York, Pennsylvania is. Okay. It's resume filler. They don't care. Yeah, and honestly, I think if John was given that, he would do it. and make sure he's paid well. Make sure he's paid as much or more than Kennedy. Because the guy's gonna need it. Because he's gonna go through a lot of shit. And I'll tell you something. A lot of people don't think Gina Carano will come back. I guarantee you this. If they get rid of Kennedy and get rid of the story group and all the people that caused problems on The Mandalorian for Gina, she'll be back. Because she was a very integral part of what John wanted to do. They know the sequel trilogy sucks. They know it. Okay? And it boggles the, you know what, here's the thing about gatekeeping ST fans and Raylos. If they would have done it right, these dipshits would have liked it. They would have. If they would have done it right. If they would have given Han and Luke back their agency. If they would have kept them on their character arc. Kept Leia on her character arc. It would have been fine. But no. Being the Chancellor of the Republic, being married. Yeah, and I think Force of Light is right. I do. I think those girls are right. It's really interesting to me. All this stuff going down and all this stuff that's happening. And there are people out there that don't want to believe. But again, there are just people out there that are negative. And they honestly, they love playing tragic. I call it a tragic game of whack-a-mole. Like, you got some channels that are completely obsessed with Amber Heard. I could give a shit about Amber Heard. I don't care. I also don't care about Johnny Depp. When I watch Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and I see River Phoenix. Hey, Daniel, how you doing? I see River Phoenix. It breaks my heart. Because, yeah, they do. They do. It breaks my heart because Johnny Depp owned the Viper Room. In there with his band, playing his guitar, pretending he's a rock star. Meanwhile, his best friend is dying in a gutter of an overdose. I don't like Johnny Depp because of that. All right? And I do hold a grudge. Okay? River Phoenix was a great talent. Okay? He was, a great, let's put it this way. If he had lived, we wouldn't have Leonardo DiCaprio. We would. Because he would have been, as far as I'm concerned, when I look at him, a far better looking man than Leo. He is a far better actor. Okay? Hey, Bone. But, a lot of these guys make money off of Amber Heard, off of other things. I don't care about that. You're not gonna, she sucks, Depp sucks, but I hope he kicks her ass because she lied about him. And she's gross. But as far as, attitude, I think a realistic attitude is, you look at the timeline of events over since December. Luke's triumphant return. Star Wars Theory posts his reaction, crying. Pablo makes sure everybody can see his public rebuke of Star Wars Theory and fans in particular, and is forced to apologize. Star Wars Theory doesn't take the apology. Then High Republic shows up, and everybody starts laughing. And it gets mocked and mocked and mocked. Then Gina Carano, goes on Insta and posts that meme, and that wasn't anti-Semitic. Kennedy obviously took advantage of that and made sure everybody in the whole world knew that Gina wasn't coming back, and Gina's talent agency cut ties with her. And then all hell broke loose. Okay, that's the timeline. We are still in that timeline. Okay, now we wait. Oh, I know. Well, like, and there are people that really, really want to see it work. I mean, I don't blame ABJ for wanting it to work. I mean, I want to see Star Wars successful. But when they're turning out Geode the Rock and trans non-binary twins, which trans is one thing, non-binary is the other. They can't go together. Make any freaking sense? And other garbage, Leox Giassi. No one's going to want to read that. I don't want to read that. You don't want. No one wants to read that. So, they've got a problem. The rumors of Galaxy's Edge being reskinned, probably, with Mandalorian, because people love it. I would rather go to a planet or Tatooine, wander around there, hang out in the cantina, maybe have cosplaying Han Solo and Chewbacca come in, and all the rest of that stuff. But the thing about it is, oh God, my nose, is, they got to do something. They got to do something. And they've been very quiet. Okay. What's really weird is how quiet social media has been with all the new. If Mike Sidious was here, he'd be talking to you guys about all the new stuff, the new toys coming out, the new collectibles, and it's something else. It really is something else. What they're coming out with, and there's all kinds of other things. I don't even think they really even posted about Heir to the Empire being recovered and coming out, and Path of Destruction and Shatterpoint. So yeah, there's something happening, and what I envision is Filoni and Favreau have been given a green light to take Heir to the Empire, map out a strategy incorporating what they've already done to the Star Wars verse, not Mando verse, Star Wars verse, where you get an idea at some point, either in Ahsoka or whatever, that there's a new bad guy, that there's other shit going down, and that the sequel trilogy are in an alternate universe. And it really is interesting to me, like if they find Ezra Bridger, that would be, I do too. I really do too. I want, in fact, if I was Bob Chapek, once all this shit is settled, and they have Gina, I would have Gina come into my office and I would apologize to her face for what happened. I would say, this is the United States. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. What happened to you was wrong. It makes me sick to my stomach that you had to go through this. Please accept our apologies. We want you back. Okay, I would have her in the office. All right, that's what a leader would do. But looking at the response the fans have given, everything since, and they're not forgetting, it's not going away. Well, I think it's going to happen. I don't. Here's the deal: if they were paying her like $35,000 an episode, maybe 50, you offer her half that and another quarter of that, like 75 extra, to do 8 episodes of Rangers of the New Republic. She come back. She come back. I don't. I don't want her anywhere near Star Wars because the woke will be cheering. She's as bad, if not worse, than Brie Larson. I can't. And Brie Larson is a human. She's a human fart. Well, if it was what? If she was making 50 an episode, and you had, let's say, like for the first season of Rangers of the New Republic, or if it was just running one season so they could get to the climax, I give her 100, or maybe 150 per episode to come back. I would do it. I want them to take the blow. This is my dream for the Book of Boba Fett, and I know it's not going to happen. Boba Fett in Tatooine, on Tatooine, in Jabba's palace, is contacted by somebody he's been doing business with. And the guy, let's say like it's Talon Card. Card says, look, I need you, an old friend from a long time ago, somebody you did business with, needs your help. And Fett asks, well, who? And he says, Han Solo. And Fett's like, what? And Card says, look, the wife just gave birth to twins. They're being hunted by Grand Admiral Thrawn and some dark Jedi. They're not sure they don't have a beat on who this guy is. But they've come close many times to capturing her and the twins. And they don't have any place to go. Everywhere they go, they get followed. And I mean, basically you're the last hope. So Fett goes, yeah, well, Fett didn't really protect her in air. I don't if I remember right. So Fett has him come in and you see the Falcon land, and you know Han's flying it just because you know it's him. Well, it could be, but you got to understand Luke is out there looking for this guy. And this is my thing is, Card just comes up with this and then says, take it or leave it. They won't even think about going to Tatooine to look for you guys there. So, Han's really like, are you kidding me? And Leia's like, okay, we'll try this. So they land, and Fett sees Leia with the kids, and they kind of have a conversation, and then Fett basically looks at Han and says, our business was done a long time ago, Solo. Don't worry about your family, I'll protect them. And that's it, and that's what would happen. Oh, that would be interesting, Simon Pegg as Dengar. The Book of Boba is going to be good. I guarantee it's going to be good. I'm very intrigued by a lot of this. Ahsoka. I might even re-up to watch the. That would be great. I mean, you see Leia with the kids, and you see a lightsaber hanging on her belt. Yeah, he did Unkar Plutt, but if we're going with the sequel trilogy is dead and null, then, Bail Organa's dead. So, yeah, they did. And that's the part of Heir to the Empire and that whole series, that whole trilogy that just blows my mind, is how the Noghri were the key the whole time. And wouldn't that be cool to see in like a live thing? I don't, well, it's, look, yeah, people, you know, you know, Adam Driver wouldn't come back no matter what. I mean, like when I was talking about uh, toxic fans, what the Raylos have done to him and Daisy is just outrageous. That's and that see that's he's kind of like Rommel. Thrawn is a little bit like Rommel. I have a deep respect for Erwin Rommel, and a lot of the Heinz Guderian, a lot of those guys that were Wehrmacht leaders because they were soldiers. Now the SS leaders, I would have no problem marching out and taking them all out at once. I mean, those guys they were horrible. They're monsters. But the Wehrmacht, you can understand it. But if you're a military person or a student of military history like moi, you'll understand it. That's why I like Thrawn. Thrawn isn't necessarily evil. But what he fights for is evil. Okay. Now, there are other. I don't think he's a modern day Flynn. Don't give him that much. There are other people who were within the Imperial military who were evil. Tarkin. Don't compare the two. Don't compare General Flynn to Rommel. There were others that were evil. Tarkin, you know, oh God, what was his name? Shit, I can't remember his name, but a lot of them. So, it's you can find evil. Oh, the Obi-Wan. Yeah, maybe you will see him in that. I was, when you're thinking about Jimmy Smits, he could do a cameo here and there in an Obi-Wan series, or if they go back to pre-Civil War days, like do an adventure where this and this. But yeah, you could bring him back in. I just remember Rogue One, where you're looking around the crowd and all of a sudden you see Bail Organa, and I'm like, that was cool. But I gotta tell you, what made me jump up first, and I don't care if you didn't like the CGI at all, Tarkin. When I saw that, I was like, yeah. Yeah, but Gerald Flynn fights for the good guys. He was an American general. Respected is one thing, but not necessarily a good guy though. That's like saying, well, Julius Caesar was respected. Julius Caesar was also a narcissistic, world-conquering, cruel dickhead. Okay, as were all the Roman conquerors at the time. I've talked a lot about how the Roman civilization was very anti-human. If you watch Passion of the Christ and you see what happened to Jesus, that was par for the course. No, stop comparing Rommel to Flynn. Okay. Dear Overlord, Doomcock just dropped another one like I knew he would, right in the middle of my stream. So I gotta go because I'm gonna watch what he had to say. If it's good, I'll come back. Talk to you later. See you around the galaxy. Stuff out. I know it's quick, but I'll be back.